to Let's Talk Tech. Thank you for tuning in today, where we'll discuss the question of the month regarding using AI and speak with Sherri Snelling, who is a renowned expert in gerontology, about AI, age technology, and brain research. Well, Cheryl, here we are again. Welcome back to the show.
Oh, you know I love coming on.
I do. I love having you on. So, yes, we've had. It's been this time we've had a long run, so that's good of having you on for the questions.
Well, I have one for you.
Oh, I'm sure you do, because that's what you do.
That's what I do. That's my job.
That's your job.
Okay. There's a lot in the news about AI. Although it seems a bit scary, it also seems to have a lot of benefits. And I've actually tried it. Is there a way I can use it in my day-to-day life to help me understand the whole thing better?
Well, yeah, and AI is, something that you hear about, like you said, daily in the news, and so I know that some people are frightened by what they think it is versus what it really is, but yes, it's got a daily application, and probably you don't even realize that you're using it every day already.
Really?
Yeah, so, but let me answer it in depth so I can kind of give you an idea, and, and also if you haven't used some tools, maybe there's some things that you might want. So I will give you that answer. And I think with AI in the news daily, there may be some concerns, but in general, AI is meant for good, not for evil. As we've talked about scams in a lot of shows, there will be people exploiting it, and there already is. But AI can improve our day-to-day lives. So just to clarify for the audience, AI, or artificial intelligence, is like a very advanced computer program that can learn and make decisions. It works by processing large amounts of information to recognize patterns and make predictions. Imagine teaching a child how to identify different animals. You can show them many pictures of cats, dogs, and birds, explaining the characteristics of each. Over time, the child learns to recognize these animals on their own. AI works similarly, but on a much larger scale and with more complex information, and it also gets to know you when you're using AI. AI systems are trained using these massive amounts of data. They analyze the data, they find patterns and relationships, and once they're trained, they can use what they've learned to perform tasks or answer questions. For example, an AI might learn to recognize speech by analyzing thousands of voice recordings. It can then use this knowledge to transcribe spoken words or respond to voice commands like those used with smart home devices. And here's where AI can be of benefit to us in our daily lives, and you shouldn't be afraid to try it out. First is helpful assistance. AI can make daily tasks easier, from setting reminders to answering quick questions like, what is the temperature outside? Or what's the weather going to be like today? It offers improved services. It enhances many services we already use, like email spam filters and navigation apps in our car. Health benefits. AI is helping advance medical research and can assist in early disease detection. I spoke about many of these times in my shows when I was going to CES and seeing this technology firsthand. Accessibility. AI-powered tools can help people with disabilities, such as text-to-speech for the visually impaired, and age-related tech that can help us age in place or provide a helping hand to our caregiver, or even play brain games. Safety. AI can improve safety in areas like autonomous vehicles and home security systems. We spoke about the smart home in a previous segment, and although I'm not a fan of self-driving cars, I am all over anything that is security related. AI in education can provide you with a personalized learning experience and instant access to information. I also spoke about using AI for planning travels in a AARP webinar, which is on my YouTube channel at Let's Talk Tech if you're interested in watching that. And yes, AI is now embedded into social media. If Meta is listening though, I would rather initiate my engagement with AI on my Facebook page instead of you making me do it, but that's for another day. While it's natural to be cautious about new technology, most AI applications are designed to help and not harm. They are tools to enhance our capabilities, not to replace human judgment. To me, understanding AI's benefits can help alleviate fears about using it, so that in my mind, there are some key ways that we can use AI safely. Be cautious with personal information. Only share necessary data with AI systems. Use reputable services with clear privacy policies. Verify important information. Do not blindly trust AI-generated content for critical decisions. Cross-check important facts from reliable sources. Fact-checking is important in everything you do, from TV news to beyond. Maintain digital security. Use strong passwords for AI-enabled accounts, and consider using multi-factor authentication. Keep your software and devices updates. And set boundaries. Limit AI to use it in appropriate tasks. Avoid over-reliance on AI for any decision-making. It's there to help you think through your options. Stay informed. Keep up with AI developments and best practices. Learn about the capabilities and limitations of AI tools that you use. Maintain human oversight. Use AI as a tool to assist and not replace human judgment. It's just an assistant. Be prepared to intervene or override AI suggestions when necessary. So remember, to use AI as a helper, not the only one doing the job. So the most commonly used in day-to-day life are ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini, and my newest friend named Claude. But there are many others, including Apple, building it right into their devices. So you don't have to fear it, but understand it. So I know that was a lot, but I really wanted you to understand where you might use it. And if you need my help, you know how to get a hold of me.
I certainly do. Thanks, Debbie.
All right, well, thanks, Cheryl. Next, I will be speaking with Sherri Snelling, a renowned expert in aging. Sherri is a leading corporate gerontologist, consulting for many large companies and startup entrepreneurs to create programs, services, and content that address optimal wellness in aging and caregiving. She's an author, a public speaker, and has participated in congressional briefings on age-related topics. And this is just the tip of the iceberg for her experience. So that should be quite exciting, so stay tuned.
Did you know plans change each year? So can your health and prescription needs. Our licensed insurance agents can easily compare your options, and you'll see the real difference. Find a plan that offers you more and covers your prescriptions. Call us at 1-888-225-6468 for a free telephonic, virtual, or in-person appointment. Annual election period ends December 7th.
Well, with me today is a special guest. This is Sherri Snelling, and I'm going to actually read her bio so I don't miss anything. She is a gerontologist and an authorpreneur and the founder and CEO of Caregiving Club. And she works with caregiver wellness, well home design, and brain health and Alzheimer's, and has her own podcast. So she actually is local, so that was very fortunate that we could have her. But she recently has come back from a conference where they had more age tech. And remember, on my previous episodes, we've been talking about that. So thank you, Sherri, for coming today. It's so nice to have you.
Well, Debbie, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, you've told me all kinds of fun things about some products and some things that are on the market, and all of them sounded great. So we're going to talk about as many as we can today. But I was really fascinating about Brain HQ and about exercising our brain.
Yeah, you know, it's really interesting because when we think about brain health, a lot of people think, okay, you know, crossword puzzles, you know, is that going to help me? And actually, what we want to do is think about brain exercises. We want to think about exercising as much from the neck up as we do from the neck down.
Okay.
And what that really means is working out different regions of the brain. And so, for instance, if you play a musical instrument or if you sing along with songs, you're actually firing neurons in different parts of your brain. So what Brain HQ does, it's online software exercises.
Okay.
It's backed by over 250 peer-reviewed, evidence-based studies. So
Okay.
there's a lot of science here. And so what you do is you take these 7-minute exercises that you can do in the comfort of your home, but it teaches you how to work out different parts of your brain. And then you know, can step it up. So in the same way that you would go work out and maybe start working out with weights, and you do the 1-pound weights, and then you maybe go to the 2 or
Right.
3-pound weights.
So you up your brain.
Right, or
Yeah.
you go further in your walks, or
Okay.
you go faster. This is what it helps to do. And so when we feel like maybe cognitively, you know, things aren't firing right, it's really great to go through these types of exercises and really understand that neuroplasticity is something that we all have, and we can rebuild those neural scaffolding and connections that help our brain health and help us stay cognitively, you know,
You're active.
active.
Doing and being able to think, because it's true. If it's a muscle, you know,
Yes.
it's like you're exercising your muscle. I actually, you know, as you were speaking, I remembered that I had seen this online, and I tried a few of the things, and it does get progressively more challenging, but that's important because if you keep doing the low-level thing, it doesn't grow.
Right.
Your brain's not getting exercise if you keep doing the same one over and over.
Well, one of the things I also loved, and I've known this company for a long time, they've been around for a while, but you mentioned I just recently wrote a book about,
Right.
you know, caregiver wellness
Right.
and wellness for everybody, and brain health for certainly. There's a great story about Tom Brady.
Okay.
And so obviously the quarterback, the GOAT, he used these exercises to maintain his expertise and get those Super Bowl rings way into his 40s or early 40s.
Right.
So it's something that anybody can use to kind of continue to work out that brain.
So earlier in the show, one of the questions for our question of the month was regarding AI, and I'm big on AI, but I also know there's good and bad, and you mentioned at the conference that there was a talk about that. So the good things and the bad things, let's break them down a little bit.
Yeah, so this conference was the What's Next Longevity Innovation Summit,
Okay.
all things age tech, and AI was the big topic of the day. And as you said, there certainly are some pros because we can now personalize our care plans. We can really get more close to what we call personalized medicine in healthcare by using AI and having that AI really understand our patterns, our behaviors, and do all that machine learning that helps with that. The downside is that unfortunately, it's the Wild West. It's brand new
That's true.
technology that we don't necessarily have a harness on. And so now we have things like voice cloning. And there was a video that was shown at the conference. It was a little startling for those of you who know who Ryan Gosling, the actor, is from The
Oh, yeah.
Notebook and Barbie
Right.
and
Barbie.
other things. Yeah. And I personally love him. But what they showed is a video of Ryan Gosling talking about something that we know he probably would not be talking about. It was
Right,
very
and it
scientific,
looked like
and it
him.
looked exactly like him. And so the downsides of, we think about grandparent scams, right, where your grandchild could be now on a video with their own voice asking for help or
And
for
it's
money.
not them, it's all AI generated.
Or I think about, you know, the upcoming presidential election and political ads. I mean,
Right.
we just, how will we know what's
Right,
real?
right.
So that was the conversation.
And that's part of my, you know, what I've been trying to do is explain what AI is so that people don't fear it, but also understand that there is an element. Everything that's out there, there's always this low-level bad actor element, and AI is no different. And that's the downside, because before, you know, they used to call and they say, oh, you know, your grandchild's in jail, blah, blah, blah. And but now it could possibly sound like a grandchild. So, you know, I think, you know, for an educational piece, for that is more about, you know, making sure that you have a safe word.
Right,
A safe
exactly.
word or something that the AI couldn't clone and talk about. But the thing is that there's always going to be that element, and you know, as long as we're aware of it, we can potentially stop that from happening, or at least if it does happen, we question it.
Right.
I think that's the whole thing with scams, questioning.
Right.
You always have to question. I saw the lady that she gave the scammers their own medicine, and she started crying and, saying, oh no, I don't know what's going to happen. And, finally the scammers hung up. So that was a good thing.
Right.
So you mentioned a few other things that you saw there that were of interest. And I was telling you a story earlier about the bed, that menopause bed that tells you when you're going to have a hot flash, but the bed does what?
So this is really interesting. And they actually weren't at this conference, but I have interviewed them and seen them before. And the company is called DreamPad, and it's DreamPad pillows. And so there's something with, again, this is going back to our brain science and neuroscience. We know that there are sonic hues. So there are different colors along the hearing sound spectrum.
Yes, I heard
now,
that.
many of us know about white noise. We know, the whirring of a fan or whatever sometimes helps people sleep. But there are different colors of noise, and there's a lot of commercials out there right now with green noise, which is supposed to simulate nature, and it does, but it's still got some deep tones. The optimal noise that we want for good sleep, it'll get us to sleep faster and keep us asleep longer, is pink noise.
Okay.
And also for anyone who may have tinnitus, pink noise is something that a lot of doctors and neurosurgeons or neurologists are prescribing. But what this pillow does is it uses bone conduction and vibrational technology so that there is an app, and it delivers sounds into the pillow that then go into the ear, and this will help you sleep. Now, you can also use music.
I love this.
Because there was a great study that was done among 100,000 women between the ages of 55 and 72.
Okay.
And they listened to classical music every night for 10 days. And for the next 30 days, they slept really, really well.
Wow.
So you can also do music.
I have a friend that might need that, because we were just talking about her sleep, because that's one thing as we age, sleep becomes a big issue. So these pillows and even some of the beds I had mentioned in my CES episodes, where the beds actually can monitor different things. I think most of us will do whatever it takes to get a good night's sleep. So.
Well, and again, it does go back to brain health too. We know that you've got to get that restive sleep. You've got to, wash all those toxins and debris out of the brain during the night, and do that cellular repair, particularly in your brain, in order to function properly the next day.
Oh, I love that. And so I just, one of the things when we spoke on the phone or emails, we were talking about, aging at home, and people want to age in place, and sometimes that requires a caregiver, and you're very focused on caregivers, but also about the whole thing. So is there anything from a technology perspective that you've seen, that you think is something that's really valuable to both having that, being able to age at home in place, or maybe can support the caregiver in providing better quality of care?
Yeah, we know that falls in the home are something that are very serious, and it's something we want to try to prevent. And there's a lot of pushback over having remote monitoring, and any kind of video that's watching you during the day is a little creepy. But smartwatches, obviously, a lot of people have embraced, right?
And I've talked about that a lot.
And so, but what I would caution is, whether it's an Apple Watch or something else, there are apps out there now that say fall detection, and they're not quite as good. So there's a company I really like. It's called Theora Care. They have a smartwatch called Theora Connect.
Okay.
Now, they use AI technology and something called neural networks technology, which is kind of the next generation, if you will. And so their falls detection app actually really knows, for instance, am I just sitting on the ground? Am I kind of doing breathing exercises, or have I really fallen over?
Right.
But again, it's using AI to know what your patterns are and to be able to distinguish that. And then if you don't respond, then it will send a notification, if you don't respond in the next minute, we're going to connect with emergency personnel or with your family caregiver or whomever. So again, it gives you that agency and independence back, so you can say, no, I'm fine.
No, I'm fine. Because I have had hit my iWatch against as I was going through a doorway, and now all of a sudden it's buzzing and telling me, oh, it's calling 911. No, stop. I don't want it to do that. So, but you're right, it's the independence thing, and a lot of times people don't want to wear, a watch is always a good thing because of the pendant. For whatever reason, the pendant type of life alert, people that bothers them to wear it. It's kind of like that, oh, now I have to wear a life alert.
I know. And they're doing things better, like now they're in necklaces, so they look better.
I did talk about that.
The tough thing is that if you have fallen, and maybe if you are unconscious, pushing a button is not going to be something you can do.
Right.
What I love about this watch is that it will say, are you okay or do you need help?
And you can
use your voice, and then it will go from there. So I love that it gives you back that agency.
That's really good. Well, I wish we had more time because this has been such an incredibly good conversation, and we've talked about a couple other travel things, so maybe you'll see Sherri on the travel show, and we'll talk about some travel things. But thank you so much for coming, and we'll put the information about your book up on at the end. And just in a nutshell, what's the book? What's the main crux of it?
Yeah, the main crux is really how to find balance and joy when you have a busy life. And it's written for family caregivers, but actually anybody of any age.
Okay.
And it's all based on brain health science and how our brains work, and then how we look at 7 different elements of our life, whether it's physical, spiritual, environmental, intellectual, emotional, social. And we talk about, okay, what do we need to do to use that brain health and brain science? And really, it's the 5 senses.
Okay.
How do we really tap into the 5 senses of our brain that bring joy?
Right.
And so that's really what the book's all about.
Well, it's very important right now. Everybody is about, we're always looking for ways to bring joy to our life. So thank you again for coming, and I so appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. It's
You're
been
very
great.
welcome. And we'll be right back.
Caring for your health shouldn't be dictated by what you can afford. At MVS, we are a family-owned business that has provided quality healthcare products for seniors in their homes for over 30 years. We negotiate on your behalf with top manufacturers to deliver low prices. We provide vital resources while staying committed to making the experience of getting medical supplies you need as easy as possible by ensuring easy online shopping and free shipping. When life is difficult, we make things simple.
So we've been talking about these AI things, right? Is Alexa listening? Today I'd like to shed some light on the convenience that many of us have welcomed into our lives with open arms. Voice assistant apps and devices. Think Siri, Alexa, Google Home. These technological marvels have undoubtedly made our lives easier, from setting reminders to playing our favorite tunes with just a voice command. Now we have even new items from Age Tech, which bring in more virtual assistants. But behind the veil of convenience lies a concerning reality: the trade-offs in privacy protection. These devices are constantly listening, capturing our words and transforming them into valuable data. But what happens to that data? It's not just disappearing into the digital ether. Instead, it's often sold to data brokers without our explicit consent. Your data is currency to these bad guys. Although using a virtual assistant is very helpful in day-to-day life, in particular for those physical issues such as vision or ambulatory, they still do pose significant privacy risks. Imagine your most intimate conversations, your daily routines, and even your purchasing habits being packaged and sold to the highest bidder. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? But fear not, because knowledge is power. By understanding the privacy risks involved, we can take proactive steps to safeguard our personal data. Simple measures like reviewing your privacy settings, limiting the amount of personal information shared with these devices, and regularly deleting stored data can go a very long way in protecting our digital selves. This goes back to my previous statement that you are your own best human firewall for your digital interactions. So, as we embrace the convenience of voice assistants and age-related tech, let's also remain vigilant guardians of our privacy. Together, we can enjoy the benefits of technology without sacrificing our fundamental right to privacy.
Hoarding is a complicated subject, but it's something that can quickly become dangerous. Stockpiling items like newspapers, clothes, receipts, or more become unmanageable amounts of clutter, which develops into health and safety risks. The clutter becomes unsanitary and often full of flammable objects. If you or someone you know might be struggling with a hoarding disorder, contact Laguna Woods Village Social Services. Help keep your community safe and healthy by disposing of unwanted, unused, and unnecessary items.
As always, I thank you for watching today. It is my pleasure to continue to host this show. If you have any questions about today's episode or tech questions in general, please don't hesitate to email me. Never fear, there are many ways to learn new things and tech classes you can take. So remember to think before you click and be kind when posting online. Thanks for watching. Here is the information on Brain HQ where you can sign up and subscribe, the DreamPad pillow that we discussed, and the AuraCare, the smartwatch you'll want to wear, that was also discussed during the show.